Sasom NIMTN say we there for you everywhere you go. High Sense Ghana TV fridge na se for papa no yen na yeton Dofio roofing system abam. Ye kru ye dance bra yen tebrem. Budget cash and carry dianom. Ye Blue Gents energy drink and ye. Senya wedana emwesia ya from Tunya Blue Gents energy drink ni bia me kame chira ahwadi krefe ho adense boliga dwan na wo ye dwumaden ankasa rawus man ye de na ni senya be ya hemfie honom ebeche ebeye dentina na ba ho se ne wo kwaye na neni akoye nechi ye all new high lady virgin mixture no ma ye se babunu ye hu saso krada Pepsodent dia pose preocupa esiese ye sintie kasa ye nsuro ye de ahoden ye de ekasa ye be ye duane a ede techerema no enso be de do hene year spices no JM Ado and Sons by no wase wonim sa wo da ya na wo bre pant well slip ene wode esom ye eco banka ba wase emergency police emergency na afesom fire emergency na wa ye ho hyehye ye nei wato ne boase a wo bo emu amane ene nwumre ene a wuti okase ebomu ye ohene wa kase bo ahene menem
ohene nana kwame amo
Africa se bode emunche mu ankasa eni United Nations penny for beto dwase na no joada kosie ni koto aba se to me independent expert for sanya be betimi aboni pa ho ban na afi yense omu no sa abato na timi koso na na ejina sexual orientation and gender identity no so ye twanti afra ne soji enam so Emma UN Human Rights Council penny for abamani a watches about one day 1 year kwato dodo na kire se ane 29 sian yato ye ginemu papa na afi so emudunum se dabida ye nyentumi ansa de enya de kwa bias wotimi ba ye wonkonya si a na etoso aduonum enkrom na asisi a wo hwe wo my Ghana social media no so amane bode kire se aina Ghana kra ne yakoto aba ne bi sane yeto ne yese sabe LGBTQI+ no ye fo so ntianam so Emma ministry ya wo hwe foreign affairs so apie montene so a wo cheche mudi a kire Ghana fo se dabi sane amote wo montene so nya sa na tie yankwanko gina honom se ye kwa akoto aba san LGBTIQ+ for no wo mo fa ho de da binya sa na tie ade no kra ye ka wasem sei sa na ade wani chemo constitution mo agina mu sa so na Ghana for ya mamra ni ya man ye sitie na mum ni ana ye ka ho asem Ghana ye koto aba ene sem woni pa sabe abusua mo ni mu a se wo ye gay wo ye lesbian transgender for queer for no si ye tietia wo fa ho de so se ye se wo mu anase ye nnuoma bi ye bone de eno de wo mo kire se Ghana nya de kwa bia so yes so nti wa kire mu ni enti a wo mo to sa aba no.
We frown against that. There is no way we will violate the human rights. And we have made it very clear that President Mahama, this government, and indeed the Ghanaian society, the larger Ghanaian society, is vehemently opposed to LGBTQI. So there is no way our envoys in Geneva will vote to support LGBTQI. The vote was about the independent experts' mandate in terms of violence against women and violence against people of various sexual orientation. And we do know that as a country, in as much as we are opposed to LGBTQI, we are against any forms of violence against them. We respect everybody's human rights.
Yera black amanensi hwanu man wato aso kirechem se manfo beka na wo ma hye ne so ananu ada sa private member bill ye bia o my Ghana mra so bedwefie ni se anti-gay bill no ne enyina enim se yekruche dia atum sai wani asabe eye gay lesbianism queer na sefo no safo no eni kwansa sabe yetietie ofa wode so kwan bia so ye bo se yetimi nya atenka no wode ye de masafo no empo no wo ka kire Ghana central for se sane ensem na koye hu ha e wo mantene so ntino ye de yenkopie mum e wo UN Human Rights Council meeting na fe yenhwe se Ghana abane yeto yetoko he yetoko adwo anasa ta wosesa nkyere mu no yenya ne ya kire mu de akire Ghana fo nyina.
Even in the private members bill that we all supported in Parliament, in the last Parliament, the 8th Parliament, it was clear that we show empathy to anybody we identify in Ghana to be practicing LGBTQI. In that private members bill, nobody had the right to assault or attack or harm or maim or kill anybody identified in Ghana to be practicing LGBTQI. That will have meant that proposed legislation is inconsistent with our constitution, because our constitution, as you do know, has very entrenched human rights provisions which protects and guarantees the rights and freedoms of everybody. So misleading reports of that nature should be discarded, and I will urge the media to independently obtain what the vote was about at yesterday's Human Rights Council meeting. There was no vote on support for LGBTQI, no vote.
Ani aye kwatie ye wosoafo ya wo hwa amanfo amaso nsem so Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa.
Asem kro ya ho. Ena na wie ye wo Peace FM ye pram tibraka sebom. Mama Africa nana ya akunadu. Eni honorable John Ntim Fodjo o ya Asen South Mbrase bedwani twetwe ho nkomo. Na honorable John Ntim Fodjo se na mieni mu ni aba na ya ntu bi ni de enya kwa. Ade tantan ade kankan we yi a eyo ma na chiwade ade we ye musudie wo mayi mu a ye chi a ya pose efunu tonga ya mpei na ya to ho aba ya ntubi so we de nka akonya kese panke wasanke ma wiase ma bia wiase bebia hu se Ghana ubo gesu a duma ye di be di unu anu kra wo de ball game no anwe kra be boso apaka atwede ama hunu befu se santes toiletro yanka wansam ewa mansan adwabo ase da bia nyenye yenu se sedi ade ne ko ye ne de abana trepefe se eba no LGBTQI+ na ade no a abane se da mfa ho saa aban se da mfa ahomfa ma ene atunwa che entunwa na mo se de se na efata ankante sanka ewo sanka aban tira ho keka bi se ade ne yechi kura ade a yempe kura yempe tiempo ni ape hu ana nka akwakoye amansan dwabo saa no ehwo na nka wosenka ye gina brand pintin na ye kyerama amansan se ya mamra ne amane wo man mu no saa ne mabi saa no amamra ne chi amane ne chi yempe so we de yakoye na se ye feri bi sei asade no ye faso no fin tozo ndo besre esuma wodo wo man mu akandifo ne nananum mpanimfo wo mka ebe mu na wo mhye agina enu amamu ni na se chobo ye 1 2 3 ye na yansori ye na Ghana ya mamra ni amane ye mgbo ho ban bebi ehu behia
Ghana se for United Nations na ekobase yenko kan ye ginesi efa LGBT ho so de yanko dru so na Ghana so na nyina MPs nyina ahemfo nyina sofo nyina imamfo nyina traditionalists nyina nyina ko benkum ye chiwade no afre ye president Mahama mpenso mo koto abeya omo se omo nto entia omo so mo koto mfo aso omo da ntemu ene ye bisa se da ben na Ghana ye ko ye neutral da ben na ye ko kan se ye ni ginesi efa se LGBT ho ne se enfire it is a President Mahama. It doesn't represent the position of Ghana. Because Ghana, but the other side, it's a him fan of President Mahama for consult to more Ghana. Omo Katsen said Ghana had the LGBT in someone and set on fire.
Ni ayatini Kenya onabo John Ntim Fodjo Asen South Mbrase bedwani. Na no see ye na kasebokro na mu. Executive Secretary, the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. Ora Moses Fuamoni. And so now not on common no say Honorable John Ntim Fodjo asema wo ken dia say wo ya dia asem na dan yamanyosem bi sei. En ka asem so dia yamanyosem na nyenye bia enchiremu yi a Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa e dia bayi a wa kira asem no mamu ada ho amaye hu adekropoti anu omoto so abayi. Entity no wante ya na se watena waboa pa seda na aburo ni beyi wobubu nuadu agu na sum se wo ka no kra na meye ne mo so hu ye nu ase ade ne se ye kapa abanya na se manyoko wo medi o ma na bro amia ba beduru bebia ye duri no woni sebi ananso wo fia edo no ko bisa de onwene ntentan eye ye nanka NPP amanyoko amambu abreso parliament nya adaje a ya detina ase etu awia beyie wo mudo so mrai mu ese bre de ko zongo konya duane padie ni bi e de toto nyama wie ye ka senka mampani dada na nado besan na nka wosan ya enka wei problem bi anu wo bi gina bebi na se wo ka se Ghana yemfo so a wonimi se mra bi tayekire wo mamuni na agi atum na so se akyemu ye we do besre pa se Mampeni John Dramani Mahama. Omani yana semihia nana brace you de one year emfanyini din.
This is what and that Ghana for me to about here. Fine, oh no, that is you. But by year can last year. You no one will be MPP for him. He's aware. On one that's a presidency. The told me so. Your former president let the catch Ghana for set. I don't know Supreme Court don't mean sign it. Now the Supreme Court they sign it. So 18 December. And your boss asked him to go here. So and no call woman say MPP for you your car. Now you have Ghana and go for casa. Election year 2 years. In fact, one of the reasons why Ghana fought about boom MPP is the attitude of the former president on this very issue, and there's also spiritual consequences to it. If you mention catch us in India, NDC for Ghana for to about boom, one of the reasons is this issue.
Nyayatini ni ora Moses for Amoni or your executive secretary, the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. Amanboyi, Esamtioni Abdullah Dasmani. Ena ni die kira wabo ekire kokus kan libra faketia wode amaye
enchepi na beto dwasa adehye wo kumase wasantemanten wo musu wo mu twagadwa wode a wode tudwa ene se nkane ne enyina na so ase kurase ni a wahye mok ne ha adwene eye ni prefwen predum ene wo mu kan ho asem kire mpanifo so wo mu hu se mpanifo tie anase kwan ben so potepa na wonam so ntie nam so ema wo so afo ya wo hwe agya hoode won sam so wo my Ghana John Jinapa akasa wo chese si ade nyame kana kuma wodu weni chemu ewa ngoma so kuma sese ya transmission line watone boase apa hontoma na se wadi kuma bofom se 161 kV yenye project na ema de hiem na ne dia wadi to dwan se na anu ada wote won makopie mu asantemantem ene hu so omanfo ni super se enti nkane ebetimi agina so bi ho ma baba adwuma no woye wokotena sifiti anopa kosi anwumre nkane ano edum na akọ na aba na edum na wo se na so wadi ya de bi ha adwini ti se ne wo kan wasema wo suntim ana mpanifo de atodwa wo chese sa project we yenye na ade hye dodo na wo hontimi ntowo mom na minister ato aso akasa bua kire se wono de wote sa asanteman sunom wose na NDC aban entimi na wontimi ntonko sanse ya ka asanteman se akane ye nimpa se MPP de bia da no se ene ye odwan kra na sabe NDC Frank agu ho a ye nto MPP de agu ho a ye beto enso si ya de ohwa asanteman se o magye atom se eye NDC ya na eguso epem ko nanim tim project ya kese ne atela oguso a wo hyehye no wo mu kuremu twetwe pa na no na mpanifo bo amane a wo kyese tetede no wo hwe agya hoɔden a no wo nsa betimi aka na wo fom kura kyese ehwa kura asa fiansa no ma benu asa wo ba singlet no ye ne hwienye ye enu ntina mpanifo ato obo ase aye hyehye se ye nsa so nya foforo no sei no what yahodo bi ade beka ho no eye ne emu odu pa sa project kese we great company for ne bedi animu.
The significance of this project lies not only in its technical outcomes, but also in its strategic intent. Kumasi is fast becoming a power center and a power hub. We have Ameri being sited here, we have Senate coming here, we have AXA coming here, we have a pipeline coming here, and Kumasi will soon boast of not less than 1,000 megawatts of electricity generation capacity. Kumasi in particular had a major challenge, a lot of power fluctuation, and so these projects would even cement what we've achieved so far. This project will bring about system reliability to ensure that the low voltages that sometimes we experience upon completion of this project, the power system in the region will be very, very stable.
Also for ya wo hwe agya hoɔden wo sam so wo man Ghana wo John Jinapa ne nsa na no si ye no ena asantemantem so for Dr. Frank Amakohene kasa wo say RCC ne hyebo se ne tie bia sa project no wani bedi akire.
The reconstruction of the 161 kV Kumasi transmission line is a timely and strategic intervention that will address the emerging realities. As chairman of the Regional Security Council, I want to assure the Energy Minister, GoodCo, and the contractors and all stakeholders gathered here that we are ready to provide all the security that you will need in making sure that we protect this strategic investment that has been committed to us as a region. We also will be available to provide any other assistance as needed for administrative, logistical support to ensure that the project is delivered safely and also on schedule.
Eni ayokoti ye waswafo yobutu asante mantem Dr. Frank Amwakuhine na no see no ena peni a wo Shea kire Ghana Great Company Limited engineer Mark Ewuaba wakasa say
the current AW1K or K1 is loaded close to its thermal millet, and this sometimes, under certain conditions, results in low voltages in Kumasi, and not only Kumasi, but the mining enclave of Dunkwa. The new project, when completed, will result in doubling the transmission capacity between Awomaso and Ahojo, where we have the K1 substation. And it will enable us to increase the transformation capacity at the Ahojo substation to meet increasing demand in Kumasi.
Penny a wo Shea kire Ghana Great Company Limited engineer Mark Ewuaba sansem we Mavis Frimpon eboa no.
Edom kuma wo mrase bedefie minority. Wo mo friends emtrefo isi mu nne. Na ensemtrefo isi mu na sinipa wakasa ye eye bosome fra ho mrase bedwani. Yakom mrase bedefie wo ye deputy minority ranking member. Eba no committee on foreign affairs a. Nana asafo jei aye. Na wakasa anu etemu se Edom kuma wo mrase bedefie wo mani adi foreign affairs minister Samuel Okudjo Blackwa na djuma wo ye echi na nka yenso he enwa ye na nkomo make no a enka honorable Sami Okudjo kwa bombo wo benya gentleman pass wa faili papa nana asafo jei aye kiremu a enimonyam a na Ghana wo e wo wiase amayenim enu obuoni anidi a na wiase aman e wo de ma wo man Ghana no esotia na etie say is patient ama yaka say enyansan ye nya kakakra bi baye teaspoon na kwantre baako na ye nu ochemu no se de bola so anya hwam no na efrifie na peni kwa me sobojo wontumi ahye nyamafo tragedy bi pampe yentumi antakin no na ye etwo entra no sada na obuoni anidi a man ede mayen a esotie no ehwo sobo wode bonu abo Samuel Okudjo Blackwa ne ye ye bi a wo ya wo kiremu se sa ne ye no enye fine enye nice se fa nice kra ena ma ni monyam ne obuoni anidie no kwa na ekofom no wo se bi ni se na no ye nkwate Ghana atena ye wo Washington America mamu padlock an kase chen Wellington boot odi akoto ano eno nanchen na no ya basabasa si Togo esense nyasinme esi enya no na wontena akonwa no so a wonfa super glue enso no tunsi mampani akonwa no so ania akwapem so obewu ana rapture Togo form so mo mpene tigu mountain so a basabasa ba ye no enwa na montu no enwie peye saa ye ni bia kan ho na ose wo mde aye nyina so Morocco ni Western Sahara dia no krampo emaye eka ho bi ena obo Samuel Okudjo Blackwa kwa duwe nana asafo agei aye
I'm saying, Okudjo Blackwa be swafu. Eya ese nyina so ne nyesie bia osino. Eyo no ne pem ne ye ne de ne odwene ho a ne ne kra atwetwuma ne so ntwe no. En oyi gikan eye pass a friend chip embedded passport. Passport yi nyina yi Ebra na do na kwakufu na dress na peso. En dwumedi bia ne wo passport yi hu ye di. Fa passport ne sise passport ne jinasi ebeji atum e wo account ebeji atum international organizations ni nano na na kwakufu. In fact passport no ka bia no boy. In fact no credit na man no code e bia no on the 2nd of December. E printing ni man na buying from before. In fact all launches are passport embedded. Look at over 50,000 passport booklets. Not about 200,000 passport booklets. And I'm so
na enwa kire na asafo agei aye ese minority for wo mo mrase bedefie ewo ensam mienu bi a won pese we de wom de dan Ghana yina eni mpanifo ayi o masede se wo muntu ho anamo de di kan ye Ghana adisia no o mu ye adwuma ewo yatena ya na ewo Washington abrochiremamu no ye tu mu no sebi wo mo saa no empatesika ye de ama wo mo anya bia ye pese ye hunu ano da nchen ya sika $1.2 million ai no passport fufuro yi a ye relance ye no eno so nkontabuo te san wo se pinu a na se minister ani aban ye di nchiremu ebre wo manfo.
In fact, your report, Washington Assembly, extra gyina pɛn a yɛgyina yɛ mmara bɛn ɛhyɛ yɛ si yɛn to saa embassy no mu ɛna nipa a wɔn ho aka ɛwɔ Washington embassy tuo no mu na yɛhwɛ kwan a ɔman no bɛfa so apata saafoɔ no a embassy no a yɛtu mu no ɛma wɔn ho kan ebien yɛsɛ ɔman no ɛne minister no ɛma yɛ krataa ɛkyerɛ baabi a Ghana yɛgyina si yɛgyina Morocco si yɛgyina Sahara o ɛnkyerɛ baabi a yɛgyina yɛnya saa yɛfrɛ sɛ policy document no clear na ɔman yɛn yɛn ti a ɔkɔɔ Morocco ɛkɔ science a communicate no ɛwɔ Rabat sɛ afei ni ɔgye tum sɛ Morocco foɔ na asase no ɛyɛ ɔmo.
Ni ayati ni nkan yi ɛyɛ Bosome Fra Home na se badwani wɔn kura ya na yɛ deputy minority ranking member committee a wɔn na se badwafie mu a ɛhwɛ foreign affairs nkita wɔn die wɔn nsɛm so ɔno na nna dɔm kuma wɔn na se badwafie press conference a wɔn fra yɛ ɔkasa waseɛ na n'asafo agye ayɛ ɛne ne din Emmanuel Akoli ɛne William Gentuni amanabɔfo a wɔn kɔ aseɛ bi a wɔn de bae.
Penia wa shama mpeni dwumedie kɛse so wa bankɛsem Dr. Peter Boamo tukuno no wade atodwa ya wo kyɛ NDC abaya krado sɛ factory ye no ɛwɔ bupe ya mpenifo ayɛ sɛ de bɛya ye betimi adada nkutom wɔ se ne tie bia no ye bɛhwɛ se ye betimi ayɛ ho adwuma wade sansɛm we nyina atodwa ne due wɔ nkra ha se bra mpenifo to obo ase ya amamre ne amane ɛma nkuto ho dwumedie wotimi pa ho ntoma no wɔ kyerɛ sɛ botaye si so ne sɛ ɛma na afeso mebuno ye betimi ahye wɔ kutupa we ye kwan aban ebetimi aye woni aye institutions ahodo a wo hwe sikasem esom na Dr. Otuku na ato aso ye a wo kire se ye wo kai pa 2012 bra na mampani wote benwa kese so a wo si ye jejai ene odo wani kyerem wetifi do mantema na omanfo na tadwefo wa wo matede ne nanso wakwa pepepe aban bi obetena so bia fichu aban bi abase ye beye hu adwuma ase ye nya hu adwuma na waatwe ne ne dwe sa wo se ene de na ha adwene pante ebremu de NDC aban ye krado aye nhyehyɛ ne atie bia factory no wo betimi esiesie sane be amafo no e betimi enya so mfa so se akoba ne sase afi bia no metric tons be 60,000 and wo betimi processing.
This government, under the visionary leadership of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, is not only supportive, we are driving policy, making investments and delivering the results. One of our flagship commitments is the full revival of the Bupe Shea processing factory, established by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama in 2012. Once a key industrial asset for the northern Ghana, the factory was neglected for years. Today, rehabilitation efforts are underway to revamp this operation. When fully operational, it will have the capacity to process over 60,000 metric tons of shea nuts annually.
Director of Presidential Initiative wa Bankesima nefa wo hwekwe ho nsɛm so Dr. Peter Boamo tukuno ne nsɛm na no see na pani kwankyerɛ form ya wodi ne dwuma Ghana Export Promotion Authority lawyer Francis Kojo Kwaten atha wono so kasa na wo kyerɛ sɛ ezia ne Ghana ha se ankasa na ba ne nkuto na emfa so de awom ne yenhyɛ de hunu ntika kra bi pɛ ane yedi yedwuma se anu se hapa.
Research shows that only about 40% of available shea nuts in the world are currently being picked or harvested for processing. This means that a staggering 60% of this natural resource is lost annually.
Ania yekwoti peni kwankyerɛ for ya wada Ghana Export Promotion Authority and lawyer Francis Kojo Kwaten athana no see ye no ena Deputy Director Research in Charge Monitoring Evaluation ewo Ghana Cocoa Board Eric Ameno wono so kasa ye kyerɛ botayenti asa dwumedie we wode hyehyɛ so.
Basically, if we mention cocoa board, people think it's just cocoa. But we have the mandate over shea nuts, shea, as well as coffee. And even carry out a lot of research into cashew and cola. Like I mentioned in my speech, that cocoa has taken more or less like the southern sector. The middle belt and the transition areas has also taken over by cashew. So it's very good and very prudent for the shea to also take the northern belt so that the whole country will have these three basic crops, bringing the source of income and livelihoods to those living across those belts.
Deputy Director of Research in Charge, Monitoring and Evaluation, Ewo Ghana Cocoa Board Eric Ameno Sansem Weyi, Yenua Bema George Osene Buano.
Na wiase man nyina esaya konkese edi etia enipa yachi wo mo kode edo mo fa kuntuna se edo mo kwa manfoforo so de adoma kwato wo mo so bo wo mo donkomi eton edi bi so ye nkrutu nyuma chen yefunu ponko no ekonkese yi na Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection do mo ho agim se wo mbebo wiase aman ema sa de na tu atwa aye human trafficking no na afimpo de ho fa kese no asemtra wo mo de to so ede share ye ne say leave no one behind anama ye tu ne enti se ye ne ntoto ye se enipa ye do mo ekọ nkrofo ama so koye nkrutu nyuma etonton bie etu obetwa no ema ye ntwa obi anya na ye se ho fa e wo man mu a ye ho kasa kire dwumedie ne na ye nanu dwumedie na wo se Honorable Agnes na Momolati a o ye Minister for Gender, Children and Protection ekwase na so dwumedie foforo bi de ne kopie bebi na so se de empenise ntifuni wa pejafo ho no Madam Anobia Asari a o ye Director of Anti-Human Trafficking Secretariat ewo ministry ho wojina Honorable Anamu ekasai na ensem wanka Honorable Kodumede na se a obeka na no ana wokruche ye de hye ne siase ni dodom ema wokoka wodumede na se kire mu se yamye ni mu ne human trafficking ne yade bia ha adwene papa na ba beye bogaku pali chen ye se amansan yina komu ani aye yina na so empenifo ntin nai enhye ye no ntoto ye se bia se ye edisi ano kwan no amanyi na ye obaga na ye nso se ye na woba aseye wo se yi a wo ntin na akra wo mani abrese krodom ye wo mafam de bia aboa ma sa de ne tu atwa titiri wo Ghana sei so obi ntumi nyiri obi titiri nkwada enfom nyi overlapping kwa manfoforo so ema adwuma mpanifo na ye no yenkoyere nkwada yere kete se witu amo mo nye esanda nso ne ntina ho ema obi fa nkwada mfiri o manfoforo so ema o mayim sabi embobo besi ase wo bra ana wo meye adwuma ensa ne mfata ye anu ase wo munam training no so ka police for immigration abanko dubofo any social service providers and afei amansa ku wudo yina bom na esanse ba ko so emienti wo mu na yakro aka bom aboa ayenhese ya one de dikan ye di besi human trafficking ano na de etoso mienu etukotena fo we ya na obuna katemu a no akobo no sesen wo ma bi so wo ko onum bia bebi obada kura woni na so no akwa omanimu akwa akoya adesoa ni na na ebetumi esi ano kwan.
On this capacity building training for law enforcement officers, we reaffirm our commitment to the global call to action to leave no one behind in the fight against human trafficking and irregular migration. This training is anchored in 2025 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons theme, which calls for stronger cooperation, deeper understanding, and the removal of all barriers that prevent effective victim identification, protection, and justice. Human trafficking remains one of the most pervasive and destructive crimes of our time. Law enforcement plays a pivotal role on the front lines. Therefore, this training is designed to equip officers with the tools, knowledge, and also all the sensitivities that you may require to identify trafficking victims, disrupt criminal networks, and uphold the rights and dignity of victims.
Near Yatini Kenya, Madam Anobia Asari, one of your Director of Anti-Human Trafficking Secretariat, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Now, no see what you may say. And DSP William Ayarga, or your Director, our Anti-Human Trafficking Unit, our Criminal Investigation Department, our Ghana Police Service. Or Kasaya say, will be so be sir. Ayire nipa na yere kete de na atrampa mpim ne hye edna kɔ wo manfoforo so anaso edna kɔ mantan foforo so wa bra nipa ne mfoa so no obekɔ akoto nipa na na wode ne bekɔ akɔye nkrutu dwuma no ya wo mra wo Ghana ha sɛ ya etia saade no eye Human Trafficking Act 694 wasi police for titu ni CID wo masemu kubu wo masemu yere pete na wenu atanso aba ne sa no o wo metoko akoso ayirim se de be ya mframa kura mfam na gise yanchew wo e beti wo se wudu obi e cross over akọ beebi se wo koton no na wo de ne koye adwuma no Ubetu jejileji.
As the lead institution in the enforcement of laws passed by the country, the Ghana Police Service, following the promulgation of the Human Trafficking Act 694, established anti-human trafficking units located at the 5th floor at the Criminal Investigation Department, headquarters, Accra. We also have regional offices, desk officers to specifically deal with human trafficking issues. The anti-human trafficking unit undertakes the following: sensitization program to educate the general public on the modus operandi of perpetrators of human trafficking offenses. It also receives and investigates cases of human trafficking and arraigns offenders before the law court for prosecution.
Nyayatiri Kenya DSP William Ayariga, one director of anti-human trafficking unit, Criminal Investigations Department, Ghana Police Service. Jumedi Henry Akwesime Kenya Peace FM amano before. Ena kwa sia wade amanebo ibae.
Jadi foni addition wa tebu amantia no wabunu isimantem na asia wakasa wosu wadi ya wakanse sropa na abuomo. Wase na anu se NDC branch chairman Suraj Mohammed se wofi yeji ya wabane se wate ya dimakum dima ya na chesi ya boni tuo. Na anu na jadi fo wadi ya tujwa wacha se brevi ya kromfo. Ene edi saanse mwani ya tise na si ya kradye market centers ahuduobi ya wa tebu yeji. Kwa ame dansu njina ate wadu mabaha na kromfo wamo basi asani etuo no eni asika wamu kura na anu ade peti wade hwewem si ana wonso nyina abobo kohia da yam nyina wase nyina aguso a grogrom wase ba kwa wo ka ho asempa ye ne se wonam kwa no so a nam se kwa ne yefon kwantantan kwa bone kwa ya nam so ana wo sa gbo he na asefo ntino kwa no ka ne ntimi ntumri kanti an roberts ne ba so a wade tuo ne hwe so a ne wo ho bia ye wo japade bia no na wase wotimi ede momo enam so madwadifo kasa wo chese wo mo de wo ade said ya kwatobuno east aposifo anim so won ka be mu o sane be ya bambom nsam wo betimi ayire mu pampe
enye kura enye yebre fise omo ba na bibia ye basa wonam kura usu enti wuntimi nko wuntimi ma enso eno ana usu wunya wu enti an campaign fo mo hwe na munye bibi mfa homa ekwan ni de misuro pa efise wugina ho na wo cheka kra bia e asamma e bia no akohia wo wanya mfa ma yeku wunya bidi bakura yetimi buru ka ho sisika ni so wansoma nso wasefa bla enti munye bibi mfa homa se awo majum just yena yetikuro ma ha ne gu send man send man susuro se ombeba so ombeba be hia aja obakona nketen no ya babe miawa ya gina aja okura se oda onyame ase na ya sane aye okojo to a se o man o maka janka ntina se odwano aye basa no ka ho e akromfo enra se adwadifo embete benka hatofo anka ese beba aboto bayre beti nka se bakoye bone ya yachi mama tinra ya ne makai bayre na ni dwanye aburo dwanye konkonte dwanye akodwanye força yengina yedwanye ese beba boboto bayire na batosa na ema yengina bi betiese man so nye na akromfo mbasa na aka bo ba man kure oya ni bresempa yesira nananom
eni ekoti edwedifo ne adehyamu atebu amanten sansemwe kwabena menu na bo ano
na savings and loans wo Ghana mu wamaka wo mo ho abomatikuo ko ni din de Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies. Na wamu wo brano general meeting ensiemu aya wo mo ye na de atoso dumienu adunum wo ma ye Ghana's Association of Savings and Loans Companies wo mo no general meeting de atoso dunum ya abaso no e wo meeting ase e na board chairman edema ekuo yi wono kra ya na ye managing director edema Best Point Savings and Loans Dr. Fred Safo Kantanka okasa wase na wojina ekona na mu e de adesrede ema omansi kakra bia Batan Bank of Ghana esra yese savings and loans e wo oman mu no nensisa ye ne ntote ya no ehia se Bank of Ghana sikakra bia Batan ebehwemu bio na wayensisa ye ewo mu a ene wo mu dwumadie ene wo masede ebese wo kire mu se senkebe ye mpo ade dikan edin no savings and loans no se wamu ya na outdoor na se wamu se din no ema ne din fofra kenya ba de kra eno dan chen ya wose nyema bi any savings and loans companies e wo man mu edi esi a wo mbesre pa se Bank of Ghana embeko wo mumwa emu a wo mu hia ni bi eye judicial support atembwom mu a wo mu hia ne se krofo beje bosia wo beje bosia ne pe eja wo ba no so ade ahia no nanimu mobomobomobombo as a sebi appointment ho a 6 o'clock abon wo street so de baby akọ ne wo mobomobomobombo saa se gina mo wato nsuom wo de fabosa ne ma no no onya hu sa ba be ka ne nsa apudu ade wo ye wo twem wo bank nanimu kra ade wa twi ne se sebi peniboni a wakoto bola so yi ne yem a UTV camera sine so wa twi ne nukra onhyo ebra no se won tia bosia no a wo betwe no atwe no a abayefo akra akoto no a ento wo bi se no se minibi wo pa akoshepo wo be konso aduane asine nim nya aduane keto bi se no se kafo didi wo se wo mu hia se atembuo ajuma ko ne beboa wo mo obi baje bosia na se won tia ebeka wo mo nsa wo maboa mo nsa kan se de se na fata wo ye no to chenchen ya wo mu hia aban ne mu apa e wo sika fam wei any pinu na ka ho a Dr. Fred Safo Kantanka we managing director Edma Best Point Savings and Loans essentially board chairman Edma Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies we di tu dwa we ne wo mu meeting na etoso dunum ase.
We use this August meeting to beseech the governor and his team to consider the petition and the position paper we presented mainly on the following: restructuring the sector, including the name change to reflect our existence; judicial support for loan recovery to achieve lower non-performing loans. To the government, the microfinance policy is long overdue for it to be adopted and possibly translated into a legislative instrument for the development of the sector. To our development partners and donors, we sincerely hope you will continue to respond to our call as we work together to strengthen and build a resilient financial sector.
Dr. Fred Safo Kantanka and the managing director, Edma Best Point Savings and Loans. Savings and Loans me pumpuni and chini savings and loans be a ni ho. Wanu kroya na ye board chairman Edma Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies. Na no see ye wo mu general meeting de atoso dunum ase. And a chief executive officer Edma Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies. Owura chenebo akodua boache. Enso kasa ye no chiremu se de nkuto ene de don pompo ansa na etumi apai na ejanso na de to achechidi echi ansa na ehunu nam no. Sa na wo mu a wo mu ya nkrankra djuma yefo a wo madjuma no eya akete boge ebi nso ya dentemu ne akese kakra micro small medium enterprises no. Wo mu won hyehyeye edema wo mu a wo mu de bese wo masene se de aboa konkontigwa so obenyina ye kese a age onya ensuo mu namwe nya mframa home se ensuo ne se ye bura mu nsuo se ye gota mu nsuo ni na ye nsuo wo mu bese wo masene amomatuma gina wo mu nanso na wo madwuma wo mu di no emu atre bagaya se eposo no wo matre wo mu nkoba mu nseso owura chenebo akodua boache.
This year, you see a new AGM, ne say, ye businesses, boja for, ankran yuma, any ankran diga, na ye shemukena, say, ye nemubekoswa ediga, na ebiemon so, ye the technology so beba, ye be mamo, ye ne pension companies, dinsa was wasn't a musube buamu, amamo pension, enti koswa ne with savings and loan, openo, niga, a free way, call in fear numu away, nimne dear, ya say, ye buama nyuma akoso ankran akoso uti loan nso a na watua loan na obi nso ehia bia na ono nso age na yenyina nso yetimi akoye nim
ni ayetini ni eye owura chenebo akodua boache one chief executive officer Edma Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies na no krakra wodwumede na se wo moton sa de frere amrado a woda sikakra bia ba time Bank of Ghana no Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama nanso no dwumedie dɔɔso nti bibi ntumi anko na sɛde tetrema etuku ordinate eja abodwe no wɔwro ne mpaboa ede Shea Desmond Agboga a wɔyɛ officer in charge of other financial institutions supervision our Bank of Ghana emokosi na naimu na mrokosi Dr. Johnson Esiama naimu no wɔka Bank of Ghana enhyehyɛ ye ntotoye ene ne niso ade hunu Edema Savings and Loans.
Mr. Governor proposes 3 guiding principles for revitalizing the savings and loans sector. 1. steady mission focused. 2. Embracing digital innovation responsibly. Mobile technology and fintech solutions are rapidly transforming access to finance. GASA members must leverage digital channels not just to expand their customer base, but to build resilient risk management frameworks. 3. Champion sustainable capacity building. As regulators, we are encouraged by GASA's emphasis on continuous learning. Beyond training, we urge the association to facilitate certification pathways, technology upgrades, and board governance reforms.
Observer 19 in Kenya, Ayora Desmond Agboga, where officer in charge of other financial institutions supervision, our Bank of Ghana. Clinton Akwesiamo akune APS FM yensem training Okoju me dey yase no dia man boy ebae
na anu ina waswafo ye osho my Ghana yakwane yakwantempo wonsem so kwame governance agboja kasa kire senche ofa nkonsa wom kwantempo no so ye ba besiesie ne krabehwe kwan so e ma mu amu ya kwantufo mu nam hodo ma chuku chakabie ne hodo ma mu besu na enu mu no manfo bi dia todwa wo chese da bi sa kwane de e hyanse paase ye ka kire ye be ya ma munya abotre ye be ye munya abotre no se nye ne Ghana panifo de ne aka omu anu no ye ne ye be ya ma na so ye betena se atwen kwan bia so nyaade etimi ba so santi wo mo bo amane a wo kyesem nyame ya adoma memenda we ya wo mu si montene so ye kire no anu ode na so be ya asumdwe de Joe Terry watone boas ne peace kase abuedi nkomo no wo kire sa minister kasa no wase wote pa se ne osi adwuma no be hyase pokuase amasama wote pa se minister enya abotira wo kire mu nkama koma ntomo yam ye be ye adwuma na be ye fesi amonam kwa no so adankwa ama no nyaade atete wo how bia memu no osu minister nyese bia wasam na wo kane assurance ni nkranse no yente tidie yate na se be ye be kase ye de ye adwuma yate abre ase yate a wani enam kwanso ye akwantufu ese edu ano papa na wo pesen de akwa adwuma bra wo bre so de ahomachi de suom kra na ehye ne bi mma no wapon adwuma rasha no so kra na wo peka akofie no so eno so atete bia befimu pa anya asem kumanti wade a wo kan terry sim demonstration na won be nyame ya adoma memenda no nya demonstration bia beka se wo mo koseye japade de wo how bre Ghana for dabi wo mo de na asumdwe kwan so boko no won be ya no enti wo mo kra de wo mo hwe ne mo sem wani ya ba mo mpanifo na mote amasamai pokuase ho side no ka sa demonstration wo mo be hwe se mo betime de mo ho age mo bie
Ofanko amasama isambu highway no. The minister na kan ye no fine. Waka na afem de yensu yentimamefo a yeti around no yensu no yati ne ekoso nyina bet yeso no enyade a ye twintwin so se ne waka ne nti no ye twa sign say the mono emaso the mono ebaso on the 12th early in the morning by 6 o'clock sharp one estate Damas 1 estate Damas 2 estate GH estate Media Hebron Dobro massive demonstration. We are moving on peaceful demonstration. We are not going to destroy anything. Yewra o manpanyi mama Wakasa ya senior Akan as a branch organizer for NDC Kutunse electoral area media. I will not give up. I will still behind the demo set the bian to me and koso near the Kanya in Penny for no say why near that one it was so young because most of the vehicles are is too terrible near kosono and yamin kwan penny for a penny for the well staffed knowing government appointees the they are coming massive.
Joe Terry amanensi one man was say Ghana from Monsore. Mo amopoku ase Monsore. Demonstration we asumdwe de na wo mo sha ase e be demonstration na wo mo kan wa sempe no mu se contractor no wo de ahweane abo kogu ekwan no so no se hwe. Agudie wo mani so papa. We agudie keke wom se mo de ahweane abo kogu so. Ya kase e be ye na mum wani agina ekire na wo mo to abo begu park no so we de party bi na se o mo echi wo mo se enye sa na tie encheche mu se no wade tudwa
media stations e comment no pay be can one sem omo fu fe ni e ba ntino o ma sheda the gravels ababegu fill up na top up no mo ye no still and we are not certified for that omo be go su keke e na omo level su se ne be photos no obetumi pass no betumi afa so but we are not certified for that job they came in no the moment it goes straight to the construction company now they should rise up say ni e cost no enye papa we are not going to against the NDC or the MPP contractor no na e come no more all. Most of the common because Yamau large contracts coming from local contractors here. You should bust them out. We should bust them out. Like for foreign companies in or do the about 60% 90% local contractor mudiamano one year ekoso.
Any equity convener 1 year ya o madwen senya me ya adoma memenda wo musi montene so poku ase amasama kwantempo no so na afi wo mo aye demonstration Joe Terry na te se woni nana ya ansa from din koma na wo chirechirem se ewom se ya de aboa ne ahwea begu kwan no so de na so anka na mfo bebi o mu gina na wo mu gina demo ne de memenda ba so life and color de konsem foforo so
na amania yeti ye na wotu ahyase se temwafo peni ya twena sensen maame tokonu se de wa man sen na hu se de ato na nini onu na eyi ena se hu asem ka nyame nka bi ma hu wontokwa nso ko a nyame nku bi ma hu nti ni a ekoso ewo man mu efa no ho de dikan ni dibra se temwafo peni ya twena sensen ya wanda wonti akonwa ne so bieu de toso mienu se ense ye ntotie enam no kwan so se ye beyi na firi dibra no so setembuafo peni no wose de wobeya anu aye de sasabro be ye kotodwa na waye no ho wasem yu nanso so enkosi yaga enti watama asem no de ko ECOWAS Community Court ewa Abuja Nigeria se wo mo ye na wo mo nka asem no Abuja wo no wo mo ye no wo mo nka asem no ma no se de ayade ye ni se eye no kwan so ano no eye ese efata se ye de ye ni eye no ana na asemi ba ye na ehun komotwetwe na ye bebiri ena wie wo Peace FM ye prem to breka se boso Mama Africa na ya akunadu ene mranim ni lawyer Samuel Fembeti atwetwe nkomo na wo mun komotwetwe mu no ana lawyer ka se Mami Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki tokonu anamonu a watu no efin bia ni ho enfumso bia nu that's all de waye na eye pa se wodi asem na ko ECOWAS Community Court se wo mudi na asem ma no wo mun kana asem ema no wo se eye asem ben na maame no epese wo mun kama no wo se de edikan committee no a atena na asem so a ewiwem se petition ya yade abase yenyi na die no wo mu yese petition no wonyina so maame na sem ne se onpese asetena no yade be kwa akose kukuwam ana ye be kuru so se smuggle goods na mum wo pese asetena no ye ni petem na wo bia hwebi fili na ekwan a empanifo no dwonwene petition no no go bia osum se sram obia ni tua na obi anhwe se de ne suspension no ene kwan a yedi yi na die no tie no obi anhwe no ndi hu dase lawyer bi o kire mu se eye se wakọ ye sense ababuo ma se ekwan no ye nam so na bi a ye fi se eye kwan pa no se nya eje obi ni mu obi kire ECOWAS Community Court no enso be kire se ebia bebi enam no eyemfutu kwan yemra kota no so bia aha se bebi afa ye no left one ye yemra right so na yemfa kwampa so enye de ese na efata na BBC a obi aka se sebi yentieti obi fa ho die tro na maame no hwe ade awoye na akire se otutu se yenam kwan bi so etieti ane fa ho die so a ende wakwakoye tembuafo peni sa de wontwe
anamona maame tokono etuno said when back this year I said there are many ways of killing a cat and odefa hana anyia na emrano sama okwan foforo say obetumi de wasema afawa e ya right say obetumi atusa anamono en say odesa adesade no ko Supreme Court sanka ebeya ono de ono ana na asem ntena wo sere say Supreme Court ɔmma yɛnyɛ no in public sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a Ghanafoɔ bɛhu deɛ ɛrekɔ so na ɔmo ahu sɛ wɔno ɔfeel sɛ since a process no started yɛ no yɛtiatia ne fa ahodie so yɛ violating the constitutional right nti ɔpɛ sɛ yɛnka no wɔ public na obiara hu sɛ deɛ wɔɔka no ɛyɛ nokorɛ nti saa issues na wɔde akɔ ECOWAS Court of Justice.
Na ɛno na Mama Africa nana yakuna du ebisa lawyer Samuel Fembeti say lawyer wada roma hu na say yase bi atokwa amena ene nya no mfa ntodoko no say wobehunu na say wode asikyire egum de car bell ya make egum na waye no ice kenki no wanumuo ono na semwa sense wan pedokro na ice kenki obetwumoko na say wode tilapia boso no ye nya yasem so woman Ghana na nka asem no sebi eburu yensoa na anono a yede ka asem sei no yenya no enuro we yenya ano size boom ene yede aka anase yensise ye no enwie peye ena gise asem no yetam edeko ECOWAS community court ansana asem yetumi aka na nye bia no ECOWAS community court no wo mu betumi di wo mu ho age ya asem yi mu bi a enkoba se etire se wo mu hwemu ni wo mu fi asem wo mu wo sa kwan no se wo mu tubi tu wo mu na esi asem a esi wo Ghana ha titiro ni asem efa Chief Justice won saaro anu ya lawyer de ma yini.
The petition now what they call say there are violations of the rights. Supreme Court no entertaining and the Supreme Court has not determined, has not ruled on that. It was just struck out upon application by the Attorney General. So insofar as the Supreme Court has not adjudicated on that matter, on its merit, and it has struck it out as unmeritorious, that if the court accepts jurisdiction and goes through adjudication process to the end, then they will be determining whether the actions and inactions of those who are involved in honorary removal process are a president, council of state, any committee. Then the ECOWAS court will now determine whether all the steps that have been taken so far are in violation of human rights or not.
Na yatini nken ayemranim ni lawyer Samuel Fembeti wani na yakuna du Mama Africa na twetwe nkomo na wonso so ye nkomo ankrofo akasa wo ho pa na bi kire se ye mami na asem be yadin papa asem kitwa bi no otwum se aka tahinsa no we no hwe nipa wa body trimu po se obeyi no odo pa afa ko the Hague ana odi akoto no a yedi se tanko ya odi fo ayeto no ba asase no odo pa afa ko still obeji for ya wadi akoya bo bi ni sun say ye ye be bebia susan e de bode ho no abekọ akogu madawro ma ye ho mesonje abo afọ nkra to yimra Peace FM enwure no nsaka se bosini ye ba sisi a
Peace FM.
What be some plumber? A damn pipe no de boy dumano. Kaino say DPS pipe nkwan no fa mo aduma bribia o. Esan gidi amenya wo DPS pipe munti. Memfani agrokra o. Enti frɛ 0543 662 727. Pomachina kwan was Spintex Road, Coca-Cola Chiriwa. DPS pipe. Gidi ashenso die. DPS pipe. Pipe nyina hene.
Hey, GoTV customers! From June 16 to July 31st, pay your subscription and get an instant upgrade on us. Enjoy Monday Madness with Big Brother Naija Season 9 reunion, Telenovela Tuesdays, and Winning Wednesday with FIFA Club World Cup action. Enjoy Terrific Thursdays, Friday Fun Day, Blockbuster Saturdays, and finally, Sunday Best with Shaka Ilembe and Nigerian Idol. Pay your subscription today. Simply dial *759#. We've got you. T&C's apply. GoTV. Love it.
Happy Delightful Juice. Wachulala, swachulala, chichi soso. Afrana pa. Epe pashu breakfast and was in woman. Joe Happy Delightful Juice against with toast, cereal, and even them cool. And we a bread and fifi. The most fringe man. Happy Delightful Juice. One of one. And you be here. I come here to relax away. So I know when you're. Let's say what a chamado. Happy Delightful Juice. Off and a baby, I bring you all day long. One fruit juice. No Happy Delight. One different flavors, different size. You number 1 liter. Number from NG 150. And 250 ml. A baby healthy life shows on your supermarket. Happy Delightful Juice. Loaded with taste.
Peace FM.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Ewie ma enyumre ma yema mu nyina akwa ababium ana obene wa behwem no ewie ampa yemre ebusua yade aseda ma osons kame se wo boy ye chidom wo se garlic capsules ne ho no musiesie ne pedua ne ma ya hoden ye nim so obi wo ho ma garlic scent we ne nye ho anu nti ye no ye nya aboche pa ne aya yade esomo match no yi MTN say we there for you everywhere you go nkotoba